Assalamualaikum and evening everyone. Yeah, for those who are not acquainted, I'm Nurina. I'm 50 now. Yeah, been in practice for some time. I was in great partnership with Mike and John of Arkitek Nurina before I started on my own in late 2009 lah, 2009. So up till now, like 6 years, we have a mixed bag of jobs that range from like the black and the white also lah, but mostly white because need to pay salary mah, you know, and then keep having to employ more staff because always I have so much to do, not enough hands. But anyway, that's practice for you. Okay, I'll just do a bit of background. I studied architecture in East London Poly back in the late 80s and did my part 2 in Nottingham because I found London was a little bit too busy. I suppose I needed somewhere calmer, so I went to Nottingham, which was a very good move. I actually started part 2 already in East London, and I saw I'm not going to be here for another 2 years, so I went out and brought my portfolio and searched for another place. So Nottingham wanted Malaysian government money, so took me in. So I was lucky, very lucky. So anyway, Pam, thank you for tonight. I think I'm beginning to speak now. Probably like we'll ramble on and on. So okay, and when I was in Nottingham, I was taught by these two very passionate, tutors. They're Paul and Simon from AHMM, and they've always told me whatever idea I had, I think they always believed whatever I thought. Why my project could be like this and that. So with that belief, it just spurs you on to want to be more creative. You think, oh, I can actually design well, and I can compete with this Angmo and all that. So it helps. So they also told me less is more, because I keep like doing so many ideas, putting in one basket. It seems like too much. So I feel like always use these aphorisms to say less is more. But now in practice, maybe it's transformed into another meaning. Less is more. So we have very little budget for most of the government projects that we do. So how to make it more, even though it's less money? So that's what I've been trying to do. Less is more. Make it more, even though there's not much money. So they're from AHMM. I think they have, if you're familiar with Alfred Hall Monaghan, so the two tutors were Alfred and Monaghan. Yeah. So I think they've won 2015 Sterling RIBA Sterling Prize winners, I think. And they've done very cool buildings like in London. I think they're very good friends with councils all over UK, so they get a lot of nice work. So this was what they helped me come up with in final year thesis. This is a media campus in Liverpool, and up till now I've been in practice 20 years. I never ever designed building like this, only as students. So it's good that Chiwi mentioned earlier, how do you actually design for what you like. So this is what I did in 25 years ago. But now can I do this in KUCHING? There's never money, there's never the client that wants to invest in something as futuristic. That's a lot of money. Maybe I haven't got the right client yet, or exposure lah. Maybe. Okay. So this is us. We're about 14, small, but we're proud and happy. We try to put enough money to pay our bills. So that's how we roll for now. Yeah, so like most of the houses I've done, they are mostly like friends, relatives. Then I don't know how to charge them. So I say, as long as you follow what I design, I don't mind. You don't need to pay me also. I don't mind. This is where I can, use what I like, design what I like to. But sometimes they also don't have the money to design what build what I design. So this house is actually, I wanted it to be, because it has a very nice side, and surrounding is all normal neoclassical at Surabaya there. So how to modernize a place that building can like be looking different, and yet having why it wants to be different. So we call it KIBLAT house because the internal arrangements faces the Qiblat. So in most of the rooms, if they pray, then you don't have to like be in an angle so everybody knows Qiblat. There's a surau in front actually. So it's like same line and align with that surau lah. So it's being built now. So hoping to be completed by August, I believe, at a cost of about like 600,000, which is quite cheap. So what I've done here, all the internal parts are within the square. So the gutters will run down the 4 columns at the side. And then so you see like there's no roof when you're there, you don't really see the roof. So it's just like infill inside a square. So when it looks very proper from the road because the boundaries are squarish as well. So hopefully they have enough money to complete it lah. Yeah, okay. I didn't have much time to prepare, so I just whatever SketchUp I had, I just used them lah, if you don't mind. But they're still quite crisp looking. Even this was like 4 years ago. They started building and ran out of money. And then after 2 years, abandoned like 70% of the job. They're restarting again now. Restarting now, yeah. Okay, so schools. Schools is what keeps us excited and gives us money to run the firm. So this is a sizable project in Bau. Retendered because the first contractor didn't complete their contract. So, but it's doing very well now. It's in Bau, so we designed a baruk, we call it, but now it's not a Bidayu baruk. One of the politicians local called it a Melanau baruk. So if it's Bidayu, it should be taller, whereas ours is slightly flattish. So these are asrama at the back, with the 2 blocks at the back, and some quarters lah. This one probably will complete by November. So this is what it is, what it looks like now. Very nice site. It's nestled just foot of a mountain. And then, okay, this GERSIK project is about like 13.5 million. I went through like the whole contract on this because we had to like extend 3 times EOT. So good practice on contract handling. It was one of 5 schools that are to use this interlocking brick system. So Sarawak had 1, Sabah was given 2 as a pioneer project, and Selangor 2, I think, and Seremban 1. So, but ours was the only one who completed all with the brick. Painfully, like, it was extended for 18 months, I think, because the workers didn't know how to assemble. And then supposed to be load bearing with even beams, totally, completely using the bricks, but because the brick didn't come with any strength certification, and then the supplier only wanted to supply, didn't have any expertise, so we had to spend money to do precast beams. But the columns were all built up using the interlocking brick, and there were like 7 gangs of laborers who came in and just ran, and they couldn't understand why it's so difficult to do, because it's the first time, and the contractor persevered anyway, and I think in the end it looks good, it looks different. Okay, another school now tendered and going to start award after Raya, I believe, because it burst the budget. Not by a lot, but they still had to get some more money to get it awarded. Okay. We started with a courtyard, which everybody, a lot of designs for KPM, I think we've seen so many courtyards being done. So what we did was to stretch that courtyard, make it look different in this manner. And then we said it's less exposure to east and west by doing that. And then in the middle, if you see that long stretch later with a perspective, you can see, actually, I wanted to copy what Zaha did in London with a track, like to encourage primary school kids to run. You go to school, at least, I don't know, lazy to study, let's do sprint. I wanted a 100-meter dash, across the school, just so everybody can watch you along the corridor. So once a week or once a month, you guys have a 100-meter dash competition, or who can run faster. So they burn off all the McDonald's and KFC that they've been feeding children now. So, but that didn't happen because the funny thing with KPM, government policy, they will never help you to, that sort of idea, to get kids to be more active. Sports facilities will be the first thing they cut, as long as the buildings, because money is never enough. The budget is always stretched. And then, okay lah, at least you tell them, you have this. Keep telling them, I want this, why don't you do that? But they'll say, yeah, good idea, but we see EPU, what does EPU say? What does EPU say? In the book, they don't tell you to be creative, to think for that, along those lines. So, but that, hopefully they will reinstate it. I told them if you can get sponsor from Samling or whoever reach there, in the middle, you can still reinstate that. It's wide enough to do that. So these are just pictures of TUDAN. But the land, unfortunately, the site is very soft. So probably they'll be quite tough to handle the contract. Okay, so this is just another proposal. This one, wildcard. This one will probably long. What do you call it? Probably won't be built. Just an idea. A funny site, like a fluted site, but we did the planning in a way that at the end, if you see, hang on, I'll just go back a few. At the bottom where we just place the playground and field, right, where there's not much else you can do. Funny piece of land. Anyway, that's that for schools. So I'll move on to, so I'm just rambling on whatever we do. Okay, India Street Pedestrian Mall, yeah, it's complete now. Got a lot of bad press because of, the 100 over shop owners there who complains every day about this and that. And then it's a 3.4 million contract, and contractors also quite stretched, and also some EOT involved. But the idea behind it was DBKU asked to do a monopole. They cannot do two columns on both sides. They said monopole is the best way because otherwise it's too near the structure of the shops. Yeah, so we did monopole with butterfly. That's all the brief asked for. So did some thinking. So we stretched the 200 meters and varied the height of the different modules. 3 modules altogether. Some are higher due to the height of the shops because the shops are all uneven on both sides. You can't really place, like if you want to butterfly one side like that, that guy is so open here, so you just still have to this guy is high, but this guy is short. So you have to juggle those lah. But in the end, we had to cut. If you see those, the hexagons roofing structure, we wanted to clad more colors so that it shades more, but there wasn't enough money. So we cut the shading by half. So what we have is just half what we initially designed for. So aside from that, quite elementary. It's, hopefully, if you see this impression, what it is now, slightly different. Construction was quite interesting, and a good steel contractor will only be able to do this without, it's not that easy as well in the restrictions that they had, and always having live traffic all around. Yeah, even on weekends. Okay, this is a view from the top. Went on a cherry picker to do that. So this view shows, I don't know, maybe I can open the floor to their reactions on this. As far as me designing it, I think Kuching, it's good that Kuching has something different, something, it's not enough to just design a shed and it looks quite common. You have to put some I don't want to use the word ornamentation, to show that an urban installation can be maybe many years ahead of what's surrounding it. So it's a total departure of what you see from the arch and what the actual canopy looks like at night. But hopefully it will become an attraction to the street. Maybe it will spur on surrounding to be more as bold as this one is. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite takes on it, and pictures of it from the air. So it has created that strong axis for Kuching. I think it's a start. It's a start. Yeah. Okay. This one, maybe Mike, don't ask me anything on this. This is your expertise. We were conserving Kubu Lili and going to tender soon. Yeah. What we did, the first thing we did was to tell JKR and museum that the entrance, if you see the white gate there, that's what has been used as an entrance to the fort. And then it's actually the rear side. So we're telling, we told we shouldn't have that as the front. So let's look at land surrounding it. So we managed to convince and museum to quickly request for the lot 1117. That was where the river used to be, where the fort was sited. So they're taking over that land now as part of the fort development. And then we are doing another entrance. We'll be building entrance on that side road, if you see, on the road down there. Yeah. Okay. So this was the first scheme. So we wanted to meander a raised platform from the visitor entry point to the fort, to the conserved fort. But because of not enough money again, we had to do this just very simple, straight route into there. So, but eventually, if they have money, hopefully they can do a little bit more. Yeah, it's a big piece of land that they're acquiring now. So, okay, more visuals on the very little budget, like 3 point something million on the construction. Okay, this was just presented to Minister of Works a few hours ago. So I met him and he was quite excited. It's a small mosque for Taman Maliha. It's like way in Matang. And they now have a facility that caters for about 800 maximum. So they wanted 1,008 or 2,005. So, but the land is only like 50 points. So I said, how can you build? We can build up. So 2 floors up will not also bring you to 2005 capacity. And then there's a river next to it, and the land that we're hoping to get is to reclaim some of the river, build some car parks on it, and build the actual mosque just where setback allows. So at the moment, after today, yeah, Dato' Fadila liked it. He says it's modern and trying to asking me to convince that we can build it as we have drawn it, he says. So if hopefully we can do that. Okay, the yellow zone is all the wet areas, the wudu, toilets, pantry. Blue are where the prayer hall is. And then because of the shape and the orientation of the KIBLAT, you cannot really maximize on the square inside that shape. So that's why it's a little bit wonky. But okay. So second phase is when they can expand, hopefully, for more to get 2005. So more floor plans. Yeah, this is what it hopefully will look like. Hope I will be able to detail it as nice. Yeah. The minaret looks a bit heavy, so after today looking at it, maybe I'll just scrap the minaret. It's like 300,000 that we don't want to spend on. So that was decided today as well. So try to keep it as close to this. Yeah. Okay. So Masjid Srivijaya, the brief was to do for 3,500 Jama'ah, and then the site because I couldn't find the floor plan, but rushing doing the PowerPoint. But I'll just show you the form lah, because it's not been presented to the committee and CM, so I didn't want to disclose too much. But this was the initial design. So this is less is more. Again, I think I went overboard here with too many features here and there. So after thinking like a month, I cut a few million off the raised platform and brought it back down to grade, and so that the height still a little bit squat, but at least it doesn't cost 50 million. I'm trying to get the cost down. So this was the initial design. Also a bit worried how to actually construct the walls and fins lah, So it has an impact because it has many patterns, I suppose. I thought it looked quite dynamic. So, but this is how it will look now. So we will refine it further. At the moment, it costs about 37, 38 million. So we'll try to get a clever dome, more intelligent and not a leaky dome, and try to streamline the windows and make it simpler to build. Yeah. Okay, I think this is the last of the work that we're doing now. It's a KUCHING Wetland National Park. So it's at Rampangi. Modest brief to have a visitor center and a place where some researchers can go into the wetland to research and do what they need to do, with a jetty stretching into the river, Salak River. Yeah, the plan was purely organic looking and following the contour of the site, and also not much money here, so we will be doing it in phases. Yeah, the boomerang you see, we probably will do half first with the central courtyard, and the timber planks also maybe 50% of what you see here, and the second part will be the boat jetty towards across that bund there to the river. So like two tentacles stretching out into the river. So this one will tender in about a month's time. Yeah. So forestry has also requested us to do a extension for their main office, which will be in later budget, and so where is that? Yeah, it looks like after doing the PowerPoint, looks like something you can put Lilo and Stitch in, so I just put them to there. Nobody spotted them. Yeah, the rendering looks like very Lilo and Stitch. Anyway, okay. So that's what the first scheme will be, phase 1, phase 2. Yeah, and then this will be phase 3 lah, or whenever they have money. Yeah. So hopefully this one is quite interesting. We didn't like that straight road going in, but because of budget, engineers say cannot, and then so we just made it straight lah. Okay. Oh, got some more. Okay, these are just, I'll run through them, planning. I love to work on plans. When I was at school, I like to doodle and make sure lines are nicely joined, they relate to each other, and then they're quite creatively drawn and has some meaning. So that's what I personally like to do. I can just doodle on plans the whole night. Once in school, I was supposed to design a Sainsbury's or Tesco, I think. I was doodling the whole night. I couldn't get any building. I was just doodling. So I've always liked this layout, but unfortunately, I don't think it will be built. This was designed in 2012. It's just one of the buildings I thought it would be great to be built, really develop the design further. But unfortunately, this one will be built, but to a SPA under Pehin Sri did not want anything higher than 9 stories, so we pushing it down, making it less glass. So, but this is also something that I'm very excited about, forms that twist and turn. Okay, this one really less is less, this one. So we designed something looking like this, but because of budget constraint, we had, this is how I feel. So we have to dumb down a little bit to So you get blow in, yeah. Dumb down. Don't need to be so creative. You only have certain money to do. So we did this, but I'm still quite happy that it's done well, constructed. Boleh lah, you know. At least it serves its purpose for Sukma. We were able to rush for it and make the deadline. Yeah. Maintenance now I see after 1 year quite tricky. Public building like this not being maintained. I think I enjoyed doing choosing the tile for the toilet. I think it looked quite decent. So this is another also one of my. There we got that 100-meter dash track again. So I was encouraging that. And beyond that, on top of the track is a golf. What is it? Play golf. Fun golf. I can't remember that term now. Crazy golf circuit for kids to play lah. Oh, this is a sports center. Yeah, a few more slides. Playing with forms and low 2-story buildings. Okay, final thoughts. If you can bear with me. So these are just wish lists. I thought probably all of us can have a thing or have always been thinking, but never having the solution for. Just if we can have scale of fees, it would be great, isn't it? Then you can spend more time on what you think should be lah. Then you get engineers who are willing to stretch for you. That would be great. Yeah, we have a lot of big designs in our heads, but sometimes it just cannot be built for the money. So that one, skilled laborers I've experienced in many of the contracts I'm running. And maybe green buildings have more suppliers who can really help us. And so maybe it's going to be lesser. So we have to work harder to earn our money lah. Oh yeah, so all young architects out there, just go crazy. I'm saying, so Kuching is ready for your wackiness. Yeah, I think should be the time now. Oh, I'm 50 already, and not much juice left. You know, it's up to you guys. Okay, that's all. Thanks. Since no question.
Yeah. Are there any questions from the floor? Mike has a question.
Ask lah. You cannot answer, say cannot answer.
Maybe I get the ball rolling lah. What Mike is thinking. You mentioned that your pedestrian mall got a lot of bad press. What were the retail store holders complaining about?
The contractor not working. Yeah, we didn't get a disciplined bunch of builders. It's like multi-disciplinary. Friend is doing the M&E, that friend is doing that bit, another guy is doing piling. So there's just a group of friends. So very poorly executed on the construction side. And then they keep wanting, why is this not covered? Why are we not getting, why rain is coming in? Keep having to tell them that's what the brief was for. It's just for a shade. It's not to cover from rain, to keep it watertight. So that bit of understanding took a long time to drive in.
Yeah. Because you're quite well known on that street. I went to eat at the Jubilee restaurant.
Oh.
And then I sat down, I had my sketchbook with me, and she came over, the proprietor, another woman, she came and said, are you an architect? I said, yes. You know Nurina? I said, yes.
Always eat my rojak.
Because I wasn't sure whether she was going to ask me tricky questions, so I was very slow in answering. I said, yes.
Yes.
But she wanted to convey some other message. So I said, I don't know you very well.
Yeah, I got very famous. Every time I go there, I always buy tudung. Every time I got site visit, I knew tudung. Maybe a few tudung I buy.
Okay.
But I see now it's
Mike, are you ready for your
quite
question?
Happy place. It's just sharing what we do. It's a mixed bag, and it's mostly scrambling tender, to get money in.
Okay. Any questions from the floor?
Yeah.
There is one. Okay. Can you come up to the mic maybe, or just call it out, say it out?
Yeah. For now, yeah. That's why. we will now build it on stilts. We won't disturb the river so much. But yeah, initially we wanted to reclaim, but after we'll try to build on stilts, don't disturb the river alignment so much. And then it will cost more. That's why we did tell Minister of Work, because we wanted to stretch the money. They say, we need land, but we still need to fill and slope. But he says, don't disturb the river. Just build a platform. But we say it's going to cost more to do. Yeah, that's, I don't know why the state has not given a land survey. They've requested for another site in Maliha, but it's never given. So we don't know that bit of the story. But I was given, already agreed that it should be there. So that's why that part of the issue I'm not familiar with. Yeah. I heard there was another site vying for that same mosque, but they didn't get it. Land and Survey of State didn't give it to them. They have to come back to demolish and reconstruct on the same piece of land. So
that's a very good question. Are you from that part of? Are you from Maliha? The person who asked the question, is it part of your neighborhood? No.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right.
Oh, you see,
Okay. If
we
there are no
live in
more
Sing-
questions,
Oh,
I see. Okay.
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 Was-
If there are no more questions, can we please thank Norina
Ah,
for
thank you.
her talk?
Thank you.